Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Malik. Go ahead and drop a like and a subscribe for me. That'd be great. Welcome back. Shoot, man, I pretty much just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about some stuff I've been thinking about lately, but more or less I kind of came up with this topic this morning. I had a feeling that I hadn't posted a video in a while, so I thought I'd just, come back on here and post something and talk a little bit. So, the topic of what I wanted to talk about a little bit for me is religion, and I know this is a hot topic issue for a lot of people. So just as a disclaimer, I don't judge anyone's religion based on what their beliefs are. I want you to know that anyone who's watching this video, you're all loved, you're all cared for by your own higher power or whatever you might believe, even if you don't believe in any higher power. So I'm this is not coming off as judgmental. This is only my experience basing off the things that I've went through and what my beliefs are at this very moment. Even my beliefs at this very moment could change, from in a month, in a week, in a year, in 5 years, 10 years, my beliefs could really change at any time. And that's the beautiful part of, the human experience, is that we have that opportunity to change and grow throughout time. So, in any event, I just wanted to kind of talk about a little bit of my background in terms of religion. And, it's really started, from a young age. I grew up Jehovah's Witness. My parents weren't super heavily involved in the church, but, I did grow up Jehovah's Witness, and I went to the Kingdom Hall. That's the name of the church that they call it for us Jehovah's Witnesses. And, we went to church regularly. And, I remember from earliest back in those times, from what I remember from church, it was, it was always a good time. I always remember, the feeling of having the pastor or the preacher, whatever you call it for Jehovah's Witnesses, because I haven't been back in a while, but whatever you call it up there for their person, they're up there preaching, and they would call on people and have them read, and I remember that was just a good feeling. I remember, as a kid wanting to get up, wanting to be able to read and having the opportunity, and, feeling as though you were supported by the people around you was always something that was powerful to me. But, to be honest, we weren't super involved in the church. We attended some Bible studies, and when I was with my grandma, when she lived in New Mexico and Las Vegas, we went to church down there, and I remember those feelings that I had down there were powerful as well. She was very big into the church. She was very big into it, and I enjoyed being down there with her during those times, because it felt like church was a way for us to become closer together and for us to get together as a family, and that was always important to me. And the Bible studies that we went to down there in Las Vegas, and in she lived in Albuquerque and Las Vegas. So in Albuquerque and Las Vegas, the Bible studies that we went to down there were always pretty cool as well. It felt as though we were getting closer through it. But I remember, at an older age, once I kind of hit middle school and high school, I felt that something was off. And, especially when in middle school, because when my parents got divorced in middle school, we didn't go to church that much. We cut back from going to church, and we weren't necessarily as involved as we maybe could have been. So, we would go to church on off occasions like Easter and maybe a Christmas or two, but it was few and far between where we actually went to church. And I remember kind of feeling fine with that. We weren't super involved to the Jehovah's Witnesses to where me or my brother or anyone got baptized, so it wasn't a big deal for us to just kind of slowly exit and continue to live our own lives. We weren't, and I don't remember having close friends that were in the church as well. Some Jehovah's Witnesses, they aren't able to attend public schools, they aren't able to attend friends' houses in the neighborhood. Everything is tightly knit into the Jehovah's Witness circle, where if you leave even for a second, you're gone for life, and you're not able to re-enter and meet some of those past people that you were involved in with Jehovah's Witnesses. So that's kind of that's sad. That's sad that some religions are like that, but in our day and age, and in general, humans are very tribal, and I guess that's how the Jehovah's Witnesses are. Luckily, I wasn't too indoctrinated from a young age into that religion, so that didn't necessarily make it a problem for me in my life. I had friends in middle school and in elementary school that translated over to high school, and I can only imagine what it's like for someone else out there who's going through that. So, if you're going through something in religion, I want you to know that everything's going to be okay. So anyways, going back into high school, that was around the time where I really started to believe I was atheist, and I didn't think about, God too much. I didn't pray very often. I didn't know. I just had no reason to pray. I had no reason to reach out. I was pretty set in my ways with my sports and my school, and I didn't see any reason for me to, make a connection with any higher power or God. That translated into college as well. In college, I was a loose cannon, and you probably weren't going to convince me to believe in God at that point. If we look at what my life was like in college too, I went to a private liberal arts school that was a Lutheran denomination. I took a religion class my sophomore year in religion and Christian ethics, and that was one of my to be honest with you, that was one of my highest graded classes in college. Okay, I didn't take college super serious, but I enjoyed that class, and I enjoyed some of the different things that I was taught in that class as well. And I think that that's powerful in terms of, what religion can do. And I was just glad to be a part of that. And I was glad to go to that school. I don't know how many people around me were super religious, but the school that I went to for college was great. So anyways, tying up after college, I was working this job after I graduated college where I would have to drive a lot, and I remember driving a lot at the evening time, and it's around like 6 to 8 o'clock, and I remember seeing the sunset and looking at sunsets while I'm on the road or on the highway, and I'm just looking at sunsets and these hues and these colors in the sky of blue mixing with dark blue and purple and orange and red and bright yellow mixed in with the white and the gray from the clouds. I mean, if I'm painting a picture in your mind with my words right now, then you might know what I'm talking about. But seeing sunsets always, especially after college, they gave me a sense of like, wow, like, life is powerful. Like, life is powerful. And when I think about sunsets right now, it's just like, man, it's a trip that that nature and the way the world works, it brings such vivid images to our minds. Because I'm not looking at a sunset right now, but I feel emotional even thinking about one, and I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, anyway, sunsets, I mean, that was where I felt as though my higher power was speaking to me in a sense and saying, hey, Malik, you should look at this. Like, I as we're gonna, in my sense, that's when I believe that was like, at one point, I believe that was God. That looking at a sunset was God reflecting towards me, like, if that makes sense. Like, looking at a beautiful sunset was God for me in a sense. And that's kind of what I believed for a little bit. I mean, I just remember feeling such strong emotions, and even right now when I think about it, it's life is a trip, man. So that was that was after I graduated college. So let's jump back to high school. After I graduated high school, and I got in a really bad car accident. And I remember my grandma saying she prayed for me, and it's a trip. Life is a trip, bro. And some, I'm overcome with waves of emotion right now and gratitude for the what things have happened, because not everything's perfect. We make mistakes, and sometimes we crazy things happen in life, and it's not, we can't expect it to be perfect ever. So anyways, after I, even after I did that job where I used to drive and see sunsets, I decided that I was even, I made the decision at that point, and after that, I was agnostic, and, because I wasn't willing to count God out completely, maybe based on, maybe in high school, I was thinking, no, there's no God, or even at times in college, I thought, no, there's no God, but, I don't think I was ever really able to count him out completely, because, agnosticism is, I think was the healthy choice, because he could exist. Who am I to say? When I look at the sunsets, I feel him. But when I'm studying the history of the universe, I don't think the world is 3,000 years old. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of just how I felt about things, and and part of how I still feel today. However, through some recent events that have happened, excuse me, I've come to believe that God, like, there has to be something looking over all of us. Like, I think that the way that we're conducted, and the things that are put in our life, and the things that have been put in my life recently have, really taken me they made me take a step back and kind of look at things a lot differently as of late. And I just think it's really cool that if I'm able to believe in God, then so I sometimes I pray, and I don't go to church necessarily, I'd like to, but sometimes when I pray, I think it's powerful, and I feel something when I pray, and it makes me happy, because it's a sense of introspection and reflection a lot of times. Spirituality is powerful, and I think that spirituality is real. Now, would I call myself a Christian right now? No. Would I say I'm still agnostic? Yeah, kind of, but leaning more towards Christianity. So if we look, I have one cross on this side, and I have the upside down one on this side. Now, that's not to, it's more or less like devil on my shoulder, angel on my shoulder on this side. You know what I mean? So, it's not, and there's also another reason behind it, but for those who know, there was a reason at the moment why I got it. And it was out of spite. It was out of spite of my ex-girlfriend. She was super Christian, and I felt the need to, I was pretty hurt by some things that she had done to me, and I felt the need to get this one tatted on me first, and then I realized that was kind of stupid, and I wanted to balance it out, but, in any event, I'm just kind of glad I can come back on camera and talk about some stuff, so it's cool to be back, man. It's cool. But anyways, that's kind of how I feel about religion. Right now, I would consider myself leaning more towards Christianity, but still on that edge of agnosticism, and I'm far away from atheism now. So, tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you think about your religion, what some of your history is, and how you feel about the whole topic of religion in general. I know that this is a hot button issue all over the internet. So I guess I thought I'd just come on and kind of share some of my thoughts on it. So, well, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and your boy is out.